What's up, everyone? Welcome to English 1102. Um, this week, you are converting your rough draft into a final draft. And so there are some things that I want to make sure that some errors that you don't make through this process. Okay. And a lot of it just deals with formatting and citing your sources correctly, works cited page. That's where most people lose their points. Okay. Very rarely am I coming across people who can't string sentences together. Pretty much everyone can. The main errors are all formatting issues, citing your sources, integrating your quotes, all those things. Pretty much everyone is capable of communicating fine. But college goes to the next level. It's not just being able to communicate fine; it's being able to present yourself correctly, to correctly format your essays and integrate your quotes and all those kind of things that I keep just hammering on about. This is not a class on rhetoric. This is a class on style. And by style, I don't even mean like voice or writer style. I mean just as in formatting style. So I really want to make sure that we get that under control. Let's see. So this week, we are working on, let's see. Here we go. Okay. So, okay. Good and not good essays. Here we go. This right here. Okay. The good and not good. I'm gonna go over that today. All right. And so here we go. And you are going to read through your draft, which you should have done today, that you should already have completed, and work on trying to edit your paper the best way possible. And you need to try to finish your independent novel. Independent novel. Next week, I am moving into talking to you about your actual the last essay 3. Isn't that crazy? We're going to discuss essay 3. And essay 3 is about the book that you've been reading all semester. You are going to be finish reading your book, and then you're going to have to watch the film adaptation of your book, and then talk about the differences and the similarities and what's good and what's bad thematically. So we'll discuss that all next week. But and then you'll have spring break on your own to do whatever you want to do. You can do nothing, or you can work on your paper, but there's no requirements at all. Okay. Essay 3 is a combination of essay 1, which is writing about literature, and essay 2, which is about the film. And then we have essay 3, which is about literature and film. Okay. All right. So let's look at some good and bad examples of past essays and things I'm wanting you to do with this current essay that you are writing. Okay. All right. So this paper, if I remember, this one received an A. This was an A paper. We have the header is correct. We have the last name, Antoine Binks. Binks is up here, 1. Okay, and it goes to every page, which is great. Okay, we have it's aligned to the left correctly. Their name, my name, the class, and the due date. It appears that the formatting is correct. Look, yep, I went to paragraph and look, it says 00 double. There's no missing numbers here or missing information here, which means that it's all the same. It's all unified. It's consistent. So that's great. Okay. The introduction flows as it should. Here we have a mentioning of the book that is being discussed. All right. We have this idea of patriotism. That's sort of their philosophical sort of idea. This idea of patriotism, Mexican and American patriotism. So sure, that works great. And able to relate and sympathize with Paula's feelings and conclusions. All right, so that's pretty great. It follows all the things that I'm asking about. Okay, is talking about sort of a philosophical belief, and relating to a text that we read, and your own personal feelings. Okay. All right. Here, the writer gives some background about their beliefs, the belief system about nationalism. We have the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. This is a title of a book, so it's in italics, which is great. Or it is the main title of a web page, not the article on the web page, but the main title of the web page. So it's in italics. That's great. And then we have a quote. Okay. And the quote's integrated. Let's see here. Defines patriotism to be similar to nationalism as they involve love of identification with special concern for a certain entity. Okay. Now, the only issue here, oh, yeah, no. But different from nationalism because patriotism's entity is one's patria, one's country. Okay. Cool. So that looks good. We have two quotes. We have two quotes. And now the 1.2, I don't know what that is. Remember, everyone got 2 errors for free. So imagine if this, let's just say this is a quote from one page to another page. Okay. One part to another part. Instead of 1.2, if this quote came from page 2 and this quote came from page 1, you just put the page numbers next to, or the citations next to at the end of each quote, and that's fine like that. This person correctly has, as a woman, is title of a book. It's a memoir, so that's in italics, which is great every time through. Here's another quote. Whenever I find quotes, I always check to make sure that they are integrated correctly. Here we go. And how her grandmother inspired her to be the type of woman, quote, that makes the world go around. That's perfect. Okay. Well, you know a quote is integrated correctly because if I delete the quote, then the sentence should be left sounding like it's a fragment. And how her grandmother inspired her to be the type of woman what? So clearly there's supposed to have been something there. So that means the quote is integrated correctly. Okay. Same here again. Paula Stone Williams describes how she saw her father's acceptance and how she, quote, viewed him as strong and invincible, and her adoration for her father because of the delight she brought to her father's eyes. Okay, great. So if I deleted these quotes, if I delete this quote and I delete this quote, then the sentence should not make sense. Paula Stone Williams describes how she saw her father's acceptance and how she and her adoration for her father because does not make sense. Therefore, it's integrated correctly. Here we have brackets. The brackets tell me, if the reader, that technically in this quote, she and her were not here, but it was added to make the quote more understandable, which is great. Okay. Let's look over at works cited page. Okay, we have alphabetical order, C.P. Williams, Hardcastle's and Albert Eugene Kahn, Joyce and Sorrows Reflections. Okay. Igor, this person, patriotism. Okay, good. Yep, as a woman. All right, great. So you see, all this is great. Okay, this is all the main things that I am editing for. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I want. All right. Let's look at another example. Okay, Holly Dillon, not a real person here. All right, already I can see there's some errors. See this? Look at that space between. Error, error, error. There's spaces between paragraphs. All right, I do Control All. I go to paragraph. Look, look, this is blank. This is blank. It should say 0, 0, double. Watch 0, 0. Now watch what happens. Are you watching? Well, I hit click on OK. Boom, it closes that up. It closes it up. 0, 0, double. 0, 0, double. Okay. Also, cat person. Cat person is a short story. I just whistled. It's a short story. It's not in italics because it's not a book. But did y'all know that they made Cat Person into a movie? I think it's gonna be on Hulu. They changed it up. The guy in Hulu might be a serial killer. She's not sure, but it still deals with like a younger woman meeting an older dude at a movie theater and starting a relationship. So yeah, I haven't watched it yet, so I'm not vouching for it. Okay. All right. So cat person should be in quotation marks. Every time we come across that phrase, cat person, it should be in quotation marks. So cat person. Right here, it's not in quotation marks. It should be in quotation marks. So that's an error. Every time. There is an error. Oh, cat person. This right here. Error. Because it should, again, should be in quotation marks. It's a short story. All right, both those two times right here, errors. Okay, so we gotta make sure that we title things correctly. All your films, though, everybody, though, all your films for this paper 2 will be in italics because titles of films are in italics. The title of a film is the same as a title of a short story. All right. There we go. Okay. Now your titles of your articles that you use for your paper, those will be in quotation marks if you're using research. All right. So there's that issue. Okay, so we have hedonism, good. All right, okay. Andrew Moore states in the Stanford Encyclopedia. That should be italics, okay? Because that's an official encyclopedia. All right. Now we have an author, so we don't need a citation here, which is fine. Okay. Okay. They show Margot's thought process of overthinking. Okay. In the story, they show Margot's thought process of overthinking. During the movie, he didn't hold her hand. Okay. So here's an issue. This quote isn't actually integrated correctly. So if you delete it, put a period here. In the story, they show Margaret's thought process of overthinking. But instead of saying anything, Margaret starts to distance herself from Robert, and this leads to an argument that gets solved by a kiss. So she's overthinking, but she doesn't say anything. That they show Margaret's thought process of overthinking. That is not an incomplete sentence. That's a complete sentence. Because we have here, they is our subject, show is our verb, Margot's thought process of overthinking, all of this is the object, okay? Because this is what's being shown. Margaret's thought process of all of that, that's really an adjective phrase of what overthinking is. So that's a complete sentence. And which means that because that's a complete sentence and it's not a fragment with the quote left out, it's not integrated correctly. So this right here, during the movie, he didn't hold her hand or put his arm around her. So by the time they were back in the parking lot, she was pretty sure that he had changed his mind about liking her. All right. So if you want to integrate this quote, it would be better with something like, all right, in the story, uh, Margot uh, Margot um, in the story, Margot is characterized by being one who overthinks the situation she is in when she misinterprets David's, is it David? I think his name is David, whatever. David's behavior in the movie theater because because quote, he didn't hold her hand or put his arm around her. So by the time they were back in the parking lot, she was pretty sure he had changed his mind about liking her. Okay. Now that, there you go. That's a complete sentence. All right. Because if I were to, there's a sign that something should be there. If that was missing, it would end with because. Margot is characterized by being one who overthinks the situation she's in when she misinterprets David's behavior in the movie theater because, okay, because what? Because why? Oh, okay, because he didn't hold her hand or put his hand, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it should be obvious. If you can delete the quotes and there's clearly something missing and it can be picked up on, then that means that the quote is integrated correctly. All right. Like right here, this is fine. After all, Angela Avery says we ignore red flags because we haven't been whatever. This phrase, Angela Avery says, tells us that a quote is going to follow. So great. All right, right here. We all know this, but to be in a dark relationship, drowning with deep sorrows, painted red with love is not good for you or your partner. All right, this person used singular quotation marks. We don't use singular quotation marks unless you have a quote within a quote. When you are quoting something that's inside of a quote, then you use singular quotation marks. Okay. So like this would have been correct if this was actually a larger quote. All right. But to be in a dark relationship, quote, drowning with deep sorrows, painted red with love, is not good for you or your partner. And this is actually a quote by Levin. Okay. Then if in the original, then in this case, if this was a quote and that you're and there's a they use quotation marks within that quote, you would change those quotation marks into singular and then and keep the double ones to indicate that you are using a quote. All right. And this is the only scenario in which you would use the singular quotation marks inside. Okay. But this person isn't, Dylan is not quoting Levin. Okay. So there are no quotation marks here, which means that these should not be singular. They should be double. Okay. Oh, look. Oh, wait, no, I did that. Never mind. I fixed that one. All right. Citations. Okay. This is wrong for many points. One needs to be on its own page. Two, This is MLA formatting. We do not say citations. We say works cited. Okay, there we go. This looks good. This looks good, but missing the citations for the stories for the story, which I posted in one of the weeks. I posted a sheet that had the citations for the stories, and you just had to download them and use them. Okay. All right. Now, somebody asked about citing your movie, the film. Okay, I put that here, right here. Okay, citing the film, Fight Club, directed David Fincher. All right, title of the movie. All right, title of the movie. So in your essay, I don't need you to, I am not going to require you at all to add a parenthetical citation when talking about your film. Okay, I don't need you to use a parenthetical citation when talking about your film, but you should use citations when you are quoting your research, the people that are talking about that you are quoting, that you are referencing for your film theory. Okay, so we're talking about Marxism. If you found an article that's actually about the book, any person that you're actually quoting, you should be citing if it's outside of the film. Okay, now if you are quoting a character, you should still use quotation marks, but you don't need to put a parenthetical citation that says Fight Club. Okay, don't worry about that. I don't care about that. But you do need to cite when you are referencing your research. Okay. All right. I hope this helps. And if you have any questions along the way, let me know. All right, I will be around. All right, let's not make the same mistakes twice. You have the opportunity to dramatically increase your grade if essay number 2 is better than essay number 1. Okay, and you can really do that and make sure and ensure that you do that if you, I know this link didn't work last time, but it doesn't matter if the link doesn't work. You can still oh yeah, right here, the Learning Success Center. If you make an appointment to bring them your paper and help them edit your paper, they need to help you edit with formatting, integrating quotes, those types of things. Okay. And so if your paper is better and your grade on essay 1 is better than if your grade on essay 2 is better than your grade on essay 1, I will match the grades. Okay. But if essay 2 is worse than essay 1, I am not matching grades. I'm not matching grades. It's only if you scored a 70 on essay 1 and then you scored an 85 on essay 2. The 85 will also go in for essay 1. All right. So you should use a tutor if you want. Have someone edit your paper once you're done for formatting. Formatting is what I care about the most. Integrating quotes correctly. Okay. And is there anything else? And also I will be grading more harshly. You know that. I think I did 2.5 points for all the errors on paper 1. And right now I think I'm doing 3.5 points for every error. Okay. Or 4 points. I have to look what I told you before. So this paper will be graded more harshly. If you had 5 errors on essay 1 and you have 5 errors on essay 2, your essay 2 score is going to be lower than essay 1. Okay, because we're aiming for improvements. All right, y'all, take it easy. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully you can watch this lecture. Some people have said things that like they can't see the lecture because of whatever different reasons, and so I'm sorry if that's the case for you. All right. Take it easy and goodbye.